Hey guys, Professor Romani here, and today we'll be looking at how to do simple graphs on like frequencies and relative frequencies. Okay, so this table is table 2.1 and 2.2 from your textbook. I'll upload this data file online so that you could play with it as well. Okay, so now we're looking at the bunch of different kinds of apartments and studios and townhouses, everything in Whistler, BC, according to the example. So you have this list price and style over here, and we have about 87 observations. Okay, it's actually 85 observations. The first were just table 2.1, like the namings of the tables. Okay, so the different kinds of apartments. So the one way to do this is also do it in Excel. Like you could actually count for each thing. Like you could do a sort by filter, and you could do a filter and just like filter only apartments, clubhouse, whatever you want. Try and do a count of that. Try and do something like, hey, I just select apartments. So what is the count of that? And here it says, well, yeah, I'm not sure why it's not working, but you could actually like just count. It's just 37 out of 85 records, and that's 37. You could just answer 37, and then you could select clubhouse, and here it says 9 records, and so and so, right? So this way, you could kind of count each type of place. But like another way to do it is also using Excel functions. So I recommend that you start learning Excel functions. It's a useful tool. Okay, so this is here we can do a count, and there's an option called count if. So I use the count if function. So range, I select the range, and so that's the range, and I lock it using these dollar signs. And the criteria is for the first one if it's named as apartment. Okay, and it's a string variable, so it's a character variable, so I put it in quotes and I close the brackets, and it counts as 37, right? So now I could copy and paste this each place, and every time it's counting only for apartment, so you just need to go and change the function here. And the second time, instead of apartment, it's called clubhouse, right? So it counts 9, and just keep following. Okay, house, and the last one is studio. No, we have one more, just townhouse. Okay, so once you count that, this is a sum function. It adds it all up. It's 85. Okay, so this number of listings is known as the frequency. Right, it's just how frequent listing is occurring. Like the data point is occurring in your sample, and it gives you an idea of how often, what is the most common type of house in Whistler. And then that's an apartment, right? Like what's the second most common? It's like townhouse, and houses are really close. So studios and clubhouses are fairly rare in Whistler, BC. So the fancy things which they show on TV, skiing shows, if there exist any, they're not very common. Okay, so fraction is just that divided by 85, right? So that's the fraction, and that's the same thing as your relative frequency. Okay. And so 43%, and expressing that in percentage is going to be, so a good check is to make sure your relative frequencies add up to like 1, or here in this case it's 100. So 43% of your observations are apartments, and 21%. So relative frequencies are a nice way to try and get an idea of, like, if you're not interested in absolute numbers, right? Like if you're interested in what percentage of housing in Whistler is affordable, and if apartments are the only kinds of affordable, if apartments are what you classify as affordable housing, then 43% of the apartments or the housing in Whistler, BC can be considered as affordable. Granted, not a lot of apartments are affordable apartments. Like some of the apartments can be very fancy and very expensive. But in those scenarios, you're not interested in the actual numbers per se, but you're interested in the percentage. And that's when relative frequencies can be very helpful. Okay. And that'll be the end of this video. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.